If you've got multiple merchant cash advances pulling money out of your account every single day, seconds, thirds, fourth, fifth, even sixth positions stacked on top of one another, I want you to take a breath because there is a way out. It's not magic, and I'm not gonna lie to you either and tell you it's painless, but it is real. I walk owners out of this every single week. A couple of videos ago, I showed you the reality of MCAs, how they trap people when too many of them get stacked on top of each other. Today, I'm flipping it around. In this video, I'm gonna be sharing all the secrets on how to get out of MCAs. So let's get into it. I'm Siegel, founder of Small Biz Heroes. I've helped business owners secure well over $80 million in funding, and I've sat across from a lot of owners in exactly this spot. If you're subscribed to my channel, you know that I speak about this stuff all the time. These people took one advance to fix a short-term problem, and then they took another, and another, and another. And then before you knew it, they were taking money from Peter to pay Paul, and now the daily payments are eating them alive. And before we go further, I want you to understand how most people end up here in the first place, because it'll protect you going forward. Most of the brokers blowing up your phone only sell one thing: MCAs, working capital, revenue-based financing, short-term loans, whatever you want to call it. That's it. That's all they sell. A lot of them don't even hold a license because in alternative finance, you don't need one to start cold calling business owners and dropping them into advances. And that's why you need to be careful when you're borrowing capital. And here's the pitch you really gotta watch out for. They'll tell you, just take this advance, make your payments for a month or two, and then you'll qualify for a nice line of credit or term loan once you've built a little bit of history. Most of the time, that second part never shows up. That broker ends up ghosting you or telling you that you still only qualify for more short-term working capital when you circle back with them. If they follow through, you still end up with one more position stacked on top of the pile, because most brokers only offer the one thing and they don't really have an exit plan for you. So keep your guard up out there. Now, if you're already in it, hear me clearly. This does not make you a bad business owner. These products are built to pull you in, and they're the only ones that are sold by people actively reaching out to you for the most part. What matters now is the plan to get out. And I'm gonna be straight with you the whole way, because I'm protective of the people who watch this channel. The MCA relief world is full of people who will make your situation worse, not better. So I'll show you the honest routes and flag the dangerous ones as we go along. Every single one of them. First, stop the bleeding. Before we even talk about getting out, there's one principle I want to cover. Stop digging. The number one way I watch business owners go from struggling to sunk is by taking yet another advance to make payments on the last one. That's the stacking spiral. And every new position you take makes you harder to save, not easier. So rule number one, starting today, if you have more than 3 merchant cash advances, do not take any new ones while we fix this. I know that's hard when the daily pulls are choking you, but trust me, every route out of this gets harder with each position you pile on. From here, the goal is fewer payments, cheaper payments, and slower payments, not shorter term, more fast, and even more expensive ones. And one more thing before we move on, the part most people avoid. Pull out your actual contracts, your MCA contracts or funding contracts, the agreements that were sent to you by the funder, not the broker, and get your real numbers in front of you. How many positions you've got, meaning how many of these working capital facilities did you take? The balance left on each one, the daily or weekly payment, what's truly left to pay back, and then build out a simple debt schedule. You cannot build an exit plan around numbers you're hiding from. So put them on paper. That's step one. And it's the one most people skip. I want to talk about the cleanest ways out first for you guys. These are products where you can actually buy the MCAs out all with one program, or maybe combining a couple of them. Because when you qualify for these programs, wiping out those daily payment advances and replacing them with the one product is going to cost you significantly less, and it's the cleanest way to do it. It gives you room to breathe. Let me walk you through all of the actual products that are realistic that we reach for, because there are a lot more of them than most people realize. And 95% of brokers out there don't offer them. First, we're gonna talk about the absolute best case scenario. The best case is conventional financing, a real line of credit or a real term loan. These are not easy to qualify for. You need 700 plus credit in most cases, net profitability, long time in business, securable assets on your balance sheet, etc. But you can take that money, pay off the advances, and now instead of getting hit every business day, you've got one predictable monthly payment at a fraction of the cost. That's the target we're always driving toward, and usually where we start things after doing a financial review, if they qualify. If you're not all the way qualified for conventional yet, like most small businesses out there, there is a whole layer of asset-backed options that I want to talk about next that can still get you out of this MCA hellhole. The first asset-based option that I want to talk about allows you to leverage the equity in your home or another property. It's called the business use HELOC, or home equity line of credit. Using this, you can pull equity out of your asset very cheaply over as long as a 30-year term with monthly payments. The second asset-backed facility that I want to talk about is relevant if you're invoicing other businesses or governments, and you're stuck waiting 30, 60, or even 90 days to get paid from your clients. But these debtors of yours are still credible companies that are going to be paying that invoice once their net terms come up. We can set up a credit facility against those receivables, or use straight invoice factoring, which is a completely separate thing, to turn those unpaid invoices into cash today. Next, in terms of asset-based financing, if you own real estate and for some reason it doesn't qualify for a home equity line, there are other business use loans that we can write against that property. And then this next one is one that we do all the time. If you own heavy machinery or equipment free and clear, an equipment sale leaseback lets you sell that equipment to a lender and lease it right back from them. And this is gonna give you a ton of working capital because you just sold that equipment to the lender, and it frees up a chunk of your cash without you ever losing the use of the equipment itself, since the lender leases it back to you. Last but not least, there are also unsecured term loans that we can stack together, the kind with 5-year terms. Or if you don't have the credit and income verification to qualify for enough, you can bring on a co-signer to pull more out. Now let's talk about route number 2. Rather than buying out the MCAs directly with another lower cost, longer term loan, we can talk about consolidations that a lot of brokers out there are calling you about. I need you to be very careful here, because I think personally, this is where the most dangerous trap in the whole space lives. Real consolidation means combining your positions into one genuinely cheaper payment with a longer term. We already talked about those. It actually lowers your costs and how often you're getting hit. That's the good version. But a lot of what gets marketed as MCA consolidation is a thing called reverse consolidations. And a big chunk of those are just another MCA. It's the same thing. It's an expensive advance wearing a rescue costume, providing cash flow relief. And in the beginning of them, they do provide some relief to an extent. They pump money into your account to cover your daily and weekly liabilities. But then at the end of the week or throughout the week, they're taking that money right back. So here is the rule that I want you to go by. Demand the total payback, the real term, and whether it's truly lowering your cost or just rescheduling your pain. If they can't or won't show you that clearly, then just walk away. Real help survives the math. A trap doesn't. Now I want to talk to you about route number 3. And a lot of my funders are gonna be pissed at me for it, but my fiduciary responsibility is to the business owner. So if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Negotiating or restructuring directly with the funder that originally advanced you the cash. This is a route that owners don't even realize that they have, because funders try and hide it from them. You can often go straight back to the funder and renegotiate, especially if your revenue has gotten considerably lower. First, I want you to think about it from the funder's side. Funders generally do not want you to default and disappear, and they don't want you using a debt modification or debt settlement company either. An empty bank account collects them exactly nothing. So when an owner is genuinely struggling and experiencing a hardship, there is sometimes room to restructure. On your funding agreements, there is something called a withholding percentage, which makes the funder eligible for that percentage of your future revenue. Now, if they are still charging you the same fixed payments that you agreed to on that contract, but your revenue has gotten lower, they are now eligible for less of a payment. But this will mess up your ability to borrow more merchant cash advances in the future if you reduce them, even if you've gone through a hardship for a little bit. A lot of the good funders will be willing to work with you on this, but they may not be willing to fund you again once your liability is repaid. Now, I also want to talk about some serious caution that comes with this one too. Some of these agreements have aggressive legal provisions buried inside them. Liens on your business receivables, personal guarantees, and in some cases, other enforcement clauses that can get triggered the moment that you default. This is the one area where I'm gonna tell you, do not wing it. Get the contract reviewed before you approach the funder to change how you're paying. Make sure that you're staying in communication with your funder if you're experiencing a hardship. Last but not least, I wanna talk about the fourth route, and I want you to be extremely careful with MCA relief companies, settlement or modification companies, or ones that do both. I talk about this because a lot of these companies out there are scams. They take your money and they don't even pay the funders. So these debt settlement and MCA relief companies that have been hammering your inbox and your phone once they find out you have 3 or 4 UCCs. These are the ones you want to watch out for. I'm not going to tell you every single one is bad. There are ones out there that are professional, that pay back the funders, and they do real modifications and make sure that you get real zero balance letters at the end of that modification agreement. But I am going to tell you to be extremely careful, because this corner of the industry is full of predators feeding on owners who are desperate and very vulnerable. Here's the playbook to watch for. Some of these companies charge big upfront or monthly fees. They tell you to stop paying all your funders at once and just let you sit in default. And this, if not approached correctly from a legal standpoint, can and will trigger exactly those legal clauses we just talked about. You can end up with lawsuits, frozen accounts, and liens on your receivables or credit card processing. And you paid a hefty fee for the privilege of this stuff. They get paid whether you come out okay or not. That's why debt settlement or modification should 110% be your last resort option. So if you talk to one of these outfits, slow down and ask them the hard questions. What exactly are you gonna do for me? Can you show me examples or use cases where you've done this for a client and they've actually received zero balance letters and proof that you were paying the lenders? What does it cost? And when do I need to pay that cost? Most of them include their percentage of what it is that they're consolidating, from anywhere from 15 to 25% of the amount that they're consolidating. So if you are consolidating $100,000 in merchant cash advances with these companies, they will charge you $15,000 or $25,000 to consolidate the $100,000. The next question you might want to ask sounds like, what happens to me legally here if your whole strategy is for me to default and open up another account when my initial agreement said that I couldn't do that? Who's actually carrying the risk here? Is it me or is it you? These are all great and legitimate questions to ask, and a legitimate advisor welcomes those questions. A predator gets pushy and defensive. So remember, if you're playing in this corner of the industry, urgency and vagueness are usually extremely red flags. And I'm happy to help you sort through them if you're feeling pressured to figure out the best plan forward. This is one of the reasons why our company is named Small Biz Heroes. We slow things down and make sure that you're not making the wrong decision for your business long term in an industry where a lot of people don't care. Now that we've gone through all of the realistic routes to consolidate MCAs, I want to tell you what the best long game really is. It's getting bank ready. And here's the part nobody selling you a quick fix is gonna say out loud. It's the permanent way out of MCA hell. It's not gonna be one clever transaction. It's gonna be getting your business to the point where you never need one of these again because you qualify for options. That means stabilizing your cash flow, separating business and personal, running everything through a clean business account, having good business and personal credit history, showing net profitability, building out your business credit profile and structure of your company the right way where banks want to lend to it, cleaning up your personal credit, any late payments, derogatories, collections, charge-offs, and getting your books to show real profit so lenders actually compete for you. Once you're there, you can graduate into great programs like lines of credit with interest-only payments, term loans with a 3-year minimum term that you control instead of advances that control you. The escape is just step one. Staying out of this situation and staying out of that hell is the whole reason that we're doing this. So let's run it back. Number 1, stop stacking. Number 2, know your real numbers. Number 3, then you work towards refinancing or genuinely consolidating into one cheaper product. And then stay far away from anybody whose plan is default and pay us a fee. And then last but not least, always be building towards becoming bank ready so you never have to come back here. This is exactly the situations that we help with at Small Biz Heroes. If you've got advances stacked up right now and you don't know which of these routes is realistic or the best one for you, let us take an honest look at it. We'll go through your positions, your statements, your business, and I'll tell you the truth. Whether you've got to stabilize first or whether you need to build some business or personal credit first, and which of the more than 20 funding programs that we work with can actually realistically replace what it is that you're carrying and provide you with a benefit, not just rescheduling of pain. And listen guys, if the honest answer is here's what you need to fix before anyone can help, we'll be the first to tell you that too. One thing I will promise you is that there will be no judgment, no pressure, no shoving you into anything you don't have the full understanding of. We are trying to elevate the standard within the alternative finance industry, and we want to use you as an example of that. So the consultation is completely free. Call us at 888-859-8408 or click the link below. And if you haven't seen my video on how merchant cash advances actually work and why that factor rate is designed to confuse you to some extent, watch that one next. It includes a piece that explains how people end up here in the first place. Subscribe so you don't miss a new Friday video, and as always, I am rooting for you.